Hi everyone, this is Laura, and I have a little project share for you today. It's a shadow box card, and although it's supposed to be a card, um, I just decided to call it a shadow box. And I am working on some other ones because I totally fell in love with this. And I will make the future ones into a shadow box card. But this one, really, I should just call it a shadow box. And the inspiration for this came from Eve's Bloom Crafts. And I'm not too sure if I'm saying her name correctly, but I will have a link to her channel below in the description box. And real quick, of course, this is definitely my own variation of it. I didn't go by her measurements, only the idea of the shadow box. And what I did to create this one is I actually used one of my Sizzix dies. And this is what it looks like. It's a scallop Sizzix die, and it's for mini albums. And it's about 4 by 6, more or less. I did not measure it, and it's called Frame and Frame Back Scallop. And the reason I chose to cut it out using that die was because I wanted the inner square to be as perfect as possible. And with my illness in my hands, I can't really cut chipboard, and much less in the middle of a chipboard piece. So I was blessed and lucky enough to have that in my stash, and I was able to cut out some chipboard and the design paper using that particular die, and that's what I did. And as you can tell by looking in the back, I also embossed it, and I embossed it using this Cuttlebug folder. Unfortunately, guys, I don't have the name to it because I was a bad girl. Before I got to know much about embossing, dry embossing, I thought it was just smart to remove them from the packaging, and I forgot to write the names on them down. And they don't come with the names on them either. So sorry about that. I did do some wet embossing here on the sides in pink using one of my little Stampy swirls. And the image I colored in with my Pro markers, and I also glossy accent her hair. And anyone who knows me knows I have a big fondness for fairies and mermaids. And this stamp is actually from Bells and Whistles. I bought this at Simon Says a very, very long time ago. Simon Says stamps. And this one is actually by Elizabeth Bell. And I guess the name of it is Bells and Whistles. Um, but it's a little fairy, and that's her. And I added some flowers over here on the corners, as well as over here with some stamens. And all these flowers were, some of them were from a party store, and some of them were gifted to me from my scrappy friends here on YouTube. Um, this one I believe I got from Wild Orchids Craft. This little chipboard piece, as well as that one in there. These are all Prima chipboard pieces from this collection. And you know what, guys? I can't remember the name of this, and it certainly doesn't have it on the package. But I know it's the fairy one, so it's either one of the garden one or the fairy one, Fairy Bell or Country Garden, one or the other. And that's from that collection. So I want to use these up. I had them in my drawer hoarding them, and I don't want to hoard anything anymore. I want to start using all the products that I buy. I cut 2 strips of paper. I used my border punch here, and this also has some of those little white pearls that I had glued on there, as well as my scribbles and some lace. And these flowers I also got from Wild Orchids Crafts. I call them my baby cherry blossoms. I'm not too sure what they're called, sweet nothings or something like that. These leaves, I've used them on so many projects, and this is what I got left, guys, from a tremendously big branch. I have bought these on sale in Michael's in the clearance aisle over the holidays last year. And I don't have much left, but I put them throughout. And I don't know if you guys can tell. I'll move the little fairy over. I also embossed the back, and I have some branches and some leaves and some flowers that I also glued all throughout inside there, just to give the impression of a little garden or forest, if you will. And I also have one of my little gem thingies that I made back here with some beads and some glass beads and some pearl beads and some flowers. And I actually made that with some floral wire. I have these teardrop beads running along on the inside over here. And these little butterflies are actually fabric butterflies. They were part of a trim. And I cut them out and I distressed them with the bundle sage and the shabby shutters distressed inks. And I have one here. I have one there. And I also have one here. And I use lots and lots of different stickles. On the fairy, on the mushroom, and I also added some scribble accents to the flowers on the little fairy's dress. And I don't know if you guys can see that. I also added glossy accents to the hair. And I don't know if I mentioned that. And I also added some stickles over here in the little flower. Along the edging of the frame, I added some lace and some flat back baby white pearls. And I believe that I pretty much covered everything. I did distress the entire shadow box with vintage photo. And I also very lightly with my finger over the embossing folder, I smeared the bundled sage and the shabby shutters just to give it a little bit more pop so that it would stand out a bit more and you can see it a bit more. And guys, can I tell you, this was actually the first, I've been dying to make a shadow box. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. And this is the first one I have actually attempted to make. And I am so enamored with these shadow boxes that I think I'm going to spend the rest of tonight just making more of them. I have a special someone I need to actually a few special someones I need to make some for. So I'm going to go get busy. This is the first one out the bunch. And I think it came out pretty cool for the first time. So let me know what you guys think. Please leave a comment below. And Eve, thank you for the inspiration. Um, like I said, I don't know if Eve did the first shadow box or not, but that's where where I saw it, the first one. So thank you so much. Have a blessed evening. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.